After 3 long months of silence, Caitlin Clark finally broke her silence. And when she spoke, she didn't sugarcoat a thing. Her first interview since that brutal injury wasn't a highlight reel or a press appearance. It was raw, vulnerable, and deeply human. She peeled back the curtain on what the last few months have really been like. The pain, the loneliness, and the mental grind that comes with watching the game you love move on without you. For fans who have followed her journey from the start, this wasn't just another injury update. It was a reminder of what kind of person Caitlin really is. When she went down earlier this year, the silence that followed said everything. The girl who never stopped talking on the court, who thrived on energy, rhythm, and noise, suddenly disappeared. No cameras. No updates. Just recovery. So when she finally sat down in front of that mic, you could feel the weight behind every word. "It was hard sitting on the bench," she admitted quietly. "I'm not going to lie. There were some hard days." That honesty is what made this interview different. It wasn't about stats or strategy. It was about growth. The kind you can only find when you're forced to stop. Caitlin talked about how the injury changed her perspective on leadership and empathy. "You feel things differently," she said. "When you're not in uniform, you can observe and learn about people." For a player whose career has always been defined by motion, fast breaks, deep threes, split-second decisions, this was the first time she had to slow down. And that stillness taught her something no highlight ever could. Her season ended long before it should have. It wasn't supposed to be like this. She was pushing through a nagging groin injury, rehabbing every day, building toward her comeback. But during a routine workout, nothing flashy, nothing unusual, her ankle gave out. "It completely rolled all the way forward," she recalled. "Probably one of the worst sprains I've ever had." Just like that, her return vanished. One bad step, and the grind started all over again. What made it worse was that she never got closure. There was no final game, no send-off moment, no crowd to cheer her last shot. Every morning, she woke up believing she might still make it back, only to be met with another setback. "It taught me how to be a good leader," she said. "How to empathize with my teammates." It's the kind of maturity most players don't find until later in their careers. But for Caitlin, it was forged in isolation, in the quiet hours when no one was watching. Injuries can break players. But Caitlin Clark doesn't break. She bends, she learns, she adapts. "People don't always realize," she explained, "being injured is honestly more work than when you're playing." That line hit differently. Because she wasn't talking about physical rehab alone. She was talking about the loneliness, the doubt, the endless repetition when you're stuck watching others live out your dream. Every day she came to the gym, put in the work, and left knowing there was no game waiting for her. No crowd. No payoff. Just patience. She described what it's like to live between two worlds. Looking healthy but not being ready. Shooting jumpers, running drills, feeling good. Until the first time you try to cut, and fear kicks in. "In a real game, you're not thinking about how you move," she said. "You're just doing it. So your body has to trust itself again." That trust doesn't come from physical therapy or repetition alone. It comes from being hit, from reacting without hesitation, from playing without fear. That's where 5-on-5 becomes critical, she said. And then the contact piece, because you never know where it's coming from. Her goal is simple but symbolic. Be ready to play by late October. But it's not just about stepping back on the floor. It's about feeling like herself again. "I've been grinding as hard as I possibly can," she said, her voice firm. "It's been difficult not being able to see the time you put in pay off, but I think I've learned a lot about myself." You could hear both frustration and gratitude in that statement. For Caitlin, the grind has always been part of who she is. But this time, it meant something different. It wasn't about chasing stats or proving doubters wrong. It was about rediscovering her own strength. For someone as fiery and competitive as Caitlin Clark, sitting out was torture. She thrives on the roar of the crowd, the rhythm of the game. But even from the bench, she found a new way to contribute. "It's not what I envisioned," she said, "but I think when I look back, this will be one of those moments that made me who I am." That's the kind of perspective that separates good athletes from great ones. She learned how to lead with her voice, not just her game. How to read her teammates, how to support them, how to be the calm in the chaos. She started seeing the game differently too, Not just in X's and O's, but in personalities and energy. "You watch how people operate," she said. "How they respond. How they lead." That observation changed her. She became the extra set of eyes for her coaches, the teammate who noticed when someone needed a word of encouragement or a quiet check-in. That's leadership born from humility. One of the biggest constants in her recovery was Aaliyah Boston. Whenever Caitlin mentioned her name, her tone softened. "AB's tremendous," she said. "We've always had a great relationship, and that's exactly what you need between your post and your point guard." When she talked about Boston, it wasn't just about basketball. It was about friendship, the kind that keeps you grounded when everything else feels uncertain. Aaliyah checked in, picked her up, and made sure she was still part of the team, even when she couldn't play. But Caitlin made sure to spread that credit around. "I think that speaks for our entire season," she said. "We wouldn't have had the success we did if it wasn't for the friendship and empathy we showed one another." The Fever's culture, built on connection and accountability, kept them afloat through injuries and adversity. From the bench, Caitlin watched that unfold in real time, and it changed how she saw leadership. "It made me realize," she said, "that no matter who you are, you show up for your teammates in the same way." When asked about her plans for the off-season, Caitlin smiled. "There's no long vacation, no time to drift away. Probably take a little break," she admitted, "but not much. I don't want to lose what I've worked on." Her top priority now is balance. Resting just enough to heal but staying sharp enough to come back stronger. "There's some USA basketball stuff I need to get ready for," she said, referring to her commitment to the national program. "That's my top priority right now." That opportunity is more than just another competition. It's a milestone. A chance to test her body, her rhythm, her instincts. "I need to find runs," she said. "Ways to play 5-on-5 again. Get that feel back." It's not about proving anything to fans or critics. It's about confidence. She knows that the real battle isn't the first game back. It's the first moment she doesn't think about her injury. That's when she'll know she's back. "It's important to feel confident in your body again," she said. "That's going to be my main focus. Feeling 100%. This entire journey has transformed Caitlin Clark. The world has always known her as the fierce competitor, the sharpshooter, the generational talent. But now, she's something more: resilient, reflective, patient. The injury forced her to grow up in ways no championship or award ever could. She learned how to lead from the sidelines, how to be vulnerable, how to rebuild without losing faith. So when she says she's coming back smarter, tougher, and more prepared, it doesn't sound like bravado. It sounds like fact. Her voice carries a new kind of calm. The same fire still burns, but it's tempered now by wisdom. "I love the work," she said. "That's never changed. And you can tell she means it." Caitlin Clark isn't just healing. She's evolving. And when she steps back on that court, when the lights hit and the crowd roars, and the game finally moves through her again, it won't be the same Caitlin we remember. It'll be someone sharper, stronger, and even more dangerous. The comeback isn't just about recovery. It's about rebirth. So now, the question is simple. What version of Caitlin Clark will we see next? The fearless scorer who broke records? Or the leader forged in silence? Maybe it'll be both. One thing's for sure, her story is far from over. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Wish Caitlin a full recovery. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more deep dives like this one. Because if this interview proved anything, it's that Caitlin Clark's next chapter might be her greatest one yet.